Travis with Wildewood Health, and it's a local business in Nanaimo that I've had the pleasure of going to over the last almost 2 years since my CBC car accident. And it's really made a big difference in my life. So I wanted to share with all my clients, my friends, my spirit influence, just how amazing kinesiology or athletic therapy is. So today I wanted to bring Travis here and share a little bit about what they do at Wildewood. And so Travis, I was hoping you would tell us a little bit about what kinesiology is.
Yeah, cool. So kinesiology, we are movement specialists who have had a good training in understanding how the body works, how the musculoskeletal system works, and we've got a training in the neurological system, and we have a good understanding of how the body needs to get rehabbed and how to improve the body's conditions, whatever people are seeing us for. So yeah, we have good education in that, and we use exercise as our modality, where other practitioners are more non-exercise based. We use exercise to get people to move and feel better and live a better life.
That's super awesome. So how does that differ from going to a physiotherapist?
So physiotherapists use more passive treatment, so they will use IMS treatment, some of them use manual therapy, some even use manipulation. Where we are purely active therapists, so we use exercise as our modality. So we have an assessment with clients, we see where they struggle, if it's a movement issue, if it's a strength issue, if it's a mobility restriction, and then we give them exercise in order to improve those various issues.
So a little bit of a sidetrack, but you've only been in Nanaimo, what, about 2-3 years now?
10 months.
10 months? Oh, much less. So then I would have met you right at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
And kind of like from a real estate standpoint, what brought you to Nanaimo, or like why Nanaimo over so many of the other places?
Yeah.
I know weather was a factor, but I thought maybe you could share with me, why Nanaimo?
So we came to Nanaimo because we had a bit of a community here before we arrived, which made our landing here much easier. So just by knowing a few people and really having a bit of an understanding of how things work, how do the kids fit in, what are sort of things people do day to day in order to keep themselves busy, was one of the decisions that drew us into Nanaimo. But as we kind of came here, we obviously learned all the different trails, the mountains, the forests, the rivers, the ocean, and what everything has to offer. And we actually had a chat with my wife yesterday about how she said, like, there's just so much to do here, and we haven't even scratched the surface yet. So yesterday we grabbed a ferry to an island, went for a walk around Newcastle Island, and just got to see the beauty of the island. So yeah, we're exploring so much and just falling in love with the island. Yeah,
because you have 2 children, 5 and 7. Yeah, and you didn't really know much about Canada or British Columbia even before you came here, did you?
No, nothing.
It takes a real leap of faith. Because you originally came from South Africa, right?
Yep, South Africa is my home country, yeah.
And so, because we're talking about mobility and lifestyle, tell us a little bit about how my clients or my sphere of influence can use kinesiology to benefit them. I know when we're practicing my exercises, because I've come from ground zero post-car accident to having much better overall, I would say, overall strength, like full body strength, and just those little tiny things we don't always notice. Tell us, what can they do to maintain their mobility, their strength, their movement as we age? Because we like to joke, I know, don't use it, you lose it. Yeah, of
course. I think the moment you get to your 30s, and onwards, you start to lose, and muscle mass starts to reduce quite significantly. So unless you stimulate your body in the correct ways, you are most likely going to start getting less stronger. Your hips, your ankles, your shoulders are going to get more and more stiff and tight, and then life just becomes a bit more difficult. So unless you know correctly how to stimulate the muscles, which stretches and stuff to do, which mobility exercises to do, then you're going to just make life a lot more difficult. You would definitely need to just keep yourself moving, find what you love, find a hobby, find people that have similar interests in you, and join a group. I'm a bit more like a loner runner, so I'll just run by myself, but I'm motivated enough to understand the benefits of just running up and down Mount Benson or around the trails locally to have to do it on a daily basis or a few times a week. So just stay active and stay moving, and let your thoughts of your 70s kind of motivate you in order to achieve your goals at the moment.
It can be really simple, right? Like it can be so simple as practicing your balance, going to a yoga class once a week, doing some things. Now, how does kinesiology differ from personal training? Because so many people are like, oh, I would never need to go to kinesiology. I've got a personal trainer, or I have a gym membership. Talk to me a bit about that.
So before I became a qualified kinesiologist, I was a sports scientist, which had a lot of personal training background, and I realized that I fell quite far short in understanding what the injuries are that people struggle with during the sessions, and I didn't understand how to fix them, or I had a very limited knowledge of the small stabilizing muscles in the body, and generally those are the muscles that we just don't train. We don't train much. You always end up doing the big global muscles, and you forget to do the small stabilizing muscles. So generally personal trainers don't really do the stabilizing exercises because mainly people would come and see them for either weight loss or muscle gain, but they wouldn't really get them to work on injuries. So when the injuries do happen, then you simply don't understand what to do with them. With kinesiologists, we understand the stabilizing muscles for people that struggle with knee injuries, the stabilizing muscles that people need when they do shoulder exercises in order to make the shoulder move in the best possible ways. And I'd say just that little knowledge of injuries and how to fix them would be a key difference.
So definitely ideal for injury rehab, any type of surgery rehab, car accident rehab. Who else kind of are your typical clients?
So we got our ICBC clients. We do a lot of work with nurses as well. So we see nurses and help them. They struggle with chronic back issues. Some of them struggle with chronic knee issues. So we help them a lot with getting them through a busy day. There's a lot of ergonomical training that a lot of us have. So with office setups, making sure your office is set up well. And people sit all day, so their postures get affected. So we have posture correction exercises, and even fall prevention programs. We can help when you get into your 70s, 80s, and you start having those increased risks of falling. We try to get people to improve their balance, improve their leg strength, dynamic balance, all those sort of things to make sure that the reduction is a reduced risk of falling. And if people do end up on the floor, we also try to teach them how to get up the right ways as well.
Just like the exercise we do together.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty hard to do.
It's not easy.
Yeah, you have the brain and the body has to work together, and it's like, oh, it should be really simple. Turn a leg, lift a hand, but it's actually hard. It takes practice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you don't use it, you're gonna lose that understanding. So
I kind of think that based on my personal journey over the last, I guess we've been working pretty weekly over the last 6 months. I'm really starting to notice a difference on how quicker I recover if I happen to fall. And then the other thing is just the difference of my actual strength on the little tiny things like stability, mobility that I never really noticed before. But now I'm like, oh, I don't get a sore back when I sit for a longer time, or it's really that overall strength.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the time we try to educate our clients, our patients in knowing what exercise to do throughout the week when we don't see each other. What are the key stretches and mobility exercises you're supposed to do for your specific condition when we're not around? So you kind of get this toolbox of exercises that you get to use when we're not together. And I think that's also an important thing from a long-term, getting this long-term hold on how to improve your specific condition.
Yeah, for sure, because then you can take it when you go traveling, you can take it when you're away for work, and eventually you don't have to see, not that it's not good for your business, but you don't have to be there, on a continuous basis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for sharing, and I hope that everyone finds this super knowledgeable. I never really knew what kinesiology was. I just thought it was a bunch of people that were super athletic that made a job, to be totally honest, which many of you are. But I really actually enjoyed my last year and a bit working with a kinesiologist, and I think it's really been a huge part of my healing from my car accident. So
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, pleasure. Such a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Travis.
Cool. All right.